To sound tired, it's because I'm making a bunch of short videos as I go through the whole website and talk about everything. I know I'm not reading it directly from here, but I'm gonna click on everything and show you all the hard work I put into this. And it's really probably gonna be like a few hours if you watch all of these. But now I get into facial analysis. So this is what I did before I owned it, and this is what convinced me. And we're going to the eyebrows. I was like, whoa, it's an artist, esthetician. What I did right here, I'm going to rewind this. I have outlined the death mask. Sometimes I outline him and put it there. Right now, I'm outlining the death mask and superimposing that outline. And I did line up. I did superimpose and basically give away all my secrets. Lowered the opacity, put it on his face. Then I moved over to the left, and then I lined up the eyes and made sure they lined up and the nose lined up. Didn't change their shape, though. I didn't change it. Does that make sense? Didn't change my picture, didn't change the death mask, so you can do this on your own. If you look at my Instagram page, I found a great video that I can't make because I can't afford that many lenses, talking about camera distortion and how I was too close when I took this photo, but this is my photo of the death mask because there's way more detail than I'll find online of these eyebrows. So the only thickness issues are the point, and that is where the eyebrow hairs do thin out. Okay, but the shape, this is what I saw as an artist. I was like, this. Sorry, historian that wanted to get all forensic and argue with me, which was the inspiration of me to create a website. I respect for you, but he found out a painting where he said his eyebrow it's round. His eyebrow is round. His eyebrow is curved. It's not straight. I just went like this with a digital pen and put that right there. It's perfect. And right where that ends is right there. And then you've got hair. So they probably pushed his hair back. I think he was brushing his hair all the way to his eyebrow forward. Like he's brushing his hair forward on both sides. So eyebrows are so unique to me as someone who looked at people's eyebrows for about 10 years before I became a medical assistant and worked as an esthetician. And 20 years of just looking at people's faces and drawing them. I'm drawing individual eyebrows. You can see individual eyebrows on the death mask. You can see that one eyebrow hair right there. You can see some individual eyebrow hairs in my picture. But you can see the direction that they're going, the shape of the eyebrow. Then his left eyebrow, I knew since 2017. So different. And so it wasn't until 2018 that I did this. Before I talked to some certain people I'm talking to. Okay. The eyebrows, I was like, they're too... Look at that. This is where I get excited. I mean, the provenance is like, whoa, I had no idea the provenance. I just spent probably 2 hours already in these last few videos talking about the provenance. Oh, this is how I doled out $250 and bought this daguerreotype, carte de visite, copy of a daguerreotype. Eyebrows. Okay, and then here's a video of the eyelids where I just individually draw those. You can watch this whole video. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this is a photo of it. So this is the outline. So I do it the other way. I kind of go back and forth, but here I outlined 1840s Illinois man is what I dubbed him sometimes. Here's some of these wrinkles. That's what got me before I bought it too. Do you see that wrinkle? You can even see there's this weird just little butterfly wrinkle. Okay. Here's his right eye. It looks a lot more sunken in. You can just see on the death mask. I talked about that in 2017. This is sunken in. Okay, there's a crease. There's a crease. Here, there's basically just one crease lower. And that's thinner. You can just tell the shape of the eyes are just different and shape of the eyelids are different. So there's just more skin, whatever, why you can let a forensic analyst, So there's that right eye, and then there it is on there, okay? there it is on his face. Here it is on the death mask. This is this superimposed there. You can watch that video to see. I just grabbed it and here I put red dots. And you can see there's that wrinkle. Boom, boom. Okay, these are expression lines, people. This is what got me. And then you can see this. And of course it looks like, oh, well, it only curves up. That is not perfect. But when you open your eyes, it's skin moves. You have to keep that in line. And as you see here, there's a line right there. But that's something you more see in the painting where it's this big swoop. But we're talking about that later. Okay, so right eye. Boom, that's the eyelash. Boom, boom. There's the crease. It's near perfection. And then there's the second crease. Near perfection. It's like maybe a millimeter off a little bit. Okay. And then here's his left eye that I always said since 2017 just looked just more hooded as an artist and an esthetician. We talk about hooded eyes. Because it's all about vein things, and I've worked with a plastic surgeon, and people want to get rid of their hooded eyelids. Okay. So, and then I put this, you've watched the video there. And then I talk about it in the video, as I'm talking about it here. Boom. Okay. So this is the eyelashes. And you can see his eyelashes are kind of like in the way a little bit, but inside part of his eye. You have to watch the video where I take away this square that's sewn off because that's blue. That's a bad choice. But the eyelash and the crease, and you can, and again, you have to understand when he opens his eye, it's going to look a little bit different. But that's that heavier eyelid. So this might pop up slightly, that crease, but that's a crease. So, and that's more something you can just see. The nose, I'm like, wow, I think there's so much that's just too unique about the nose. You can watch the video, but I'm just going to show you the screenshots of this video. You can just go to my website and watch the video. Here I've chosen to outline, and I've done it both ways, where I've outlined the death mask, put it there. Outline this, put it there. I size them up, but I'm not fundamentally changing the picture. Just the size. That's it. You can do this yourself. Go get a Procreate app, $4. If you can't afford $100, $200. I spent about $29 on Photoshop, and I only did that until recent because I've started getting into photography again, but I'm not a Photoshop fiend. And I didn't take any classes anyway. Here's the outline you can see, and I put that on the death mask. Nostril. Obviously that nostril's blown out. It's not really that small. Okay. But this line, that's a curve in his nose. So it's opposite lighting. So on the photo, the lighting's reflecting up into his nostrils onto that part of the nostril. Here it's coming more down, so it's darker here. There's a shadow. There's a shadow. Opposite shadows, but just the fact that when there's going to be some camera distortion here, and I could see there was a curve there, boom. And so in the video you can see me taking that line away. But there's a line right there. So you have to watch the video to see this, but here's this curve. And that's very indicative of a very large nose. And there's that curve. And of course, there's discoloration on the death mask, but there's a depression there. Okay? There's a depression right there. And then the mouth, if you look at, this is my own photography. If you want to see a less distorted photo, you can take the one from the internet, but the lighting is so harsh on the most popular photo of the death mask on the internet. You don't see. I shined a light up from my cell phone. They didn't tell me I couldn't. I don't know if I was allowed to, but I did. Because I knew there was really bad lighting. And I knew there was reflective lighting coming up. You can see, there's this guy right there, but his mouth, where it opens and closes, actually kind of goes down. But it's pulled up a little bit by scars on this side. Not really pulled up on this side. It's a lot more droopy on both men, I believe. But that's my artistic view. And me looking at my own photography, I see different things than I see on some of the photos in the internet, where there's really bad lighting and lower pixels. But I can zoom into this and see there's his mouth. And so there's this shadow. So if I squint my eyes and go, okay, where's that shadow? And it is unfortunate. It's not my fault. My photo is Not super crisp, like it's just not. And I really was hoping to get a really high resolution copy that was super crisp and clear. And I mean, obviously there's higher pixels and there's more detail, but it is what it is. And that's not really the shape of his mouth. There's just light hitting there, you know. I also think he could be pursing his lips. But like, yeah, the church historian in his email was like, his bottom lip is bigger than this guy's, and it's not. When I've lined up the nose, eyes, middle of the mouth there, take this, put this here. So this is the other, this is what I'm saying, the other photos where the light is just coming straight down. You don't see all these details. I don't know if they've buffed the depth. I just don't know. This isn't my photography right here. But you can really see going boom, boom over. It looks like his mouth fully comes up. And I don't know why it looks quite different than my own photography, but this is my own photography. You can see, yeah, there's that scar there, but the corner of his mouth doesn't. That's not his mouth, that's a scar. And then I do point out the scar. There's a scar there. And so that lines up. Just does. So I take this and put that over there. There we go. So here's that other version where I've dropped that there, and you'll see that's where that scar is, and it's just sort of getting pulled up on the side of the mouth. But there's also lighting, so when you point line up there, that scar gets less obvious. Does that make sense? The scar doesn't look as dark when I've shined light up as when there's harsh lighting going down. It's much harsher lighting. And then the chin, he has a very pronounced chin, unlike the scandal daguerreotype. It just doesn't have that boom, bump out, protruding chin. It's very obvious this is a chin that protrudes out. It's not one that's flat and recedes. And it's very obvious in my photo that this chin, I've outlined his chin and I put it onto the death mask, and it sort of seems, I think I can see sort of, I don't know if you guys can see that. I see a little bit of a shadow coming in there, like maybe there's a cleft in the chin. I see some evidence of a cleft chin, and just the fact that where things curve, it just, even with distortion taking into account, you know, that it matches really well. Hairline got me. Even before I bought it, I was like, oh, I don't know, you know, and everyone else too. When I was outlining it, I would outline beginning, everything, boom. And then I realized, it just came to me to outline the death mask and put it on there. And all I had to do was just grab this and pull it out. So I'm not, if you go into Photoshop and just pull this, it's not changing the shape, if that makes sense. So you still have some stuff missing on the side, and I do think, I think he just grew his hair longer, if that makes sense. If he's missing more hair on this side, he's growing it longer. Maybe he just got a fresh haircut. Maybe somebody was mad at him that he was married to and decided to cut his hair all the way short. And usually it's covering right here. And he's grown it back on that side. But whereas this side, it's a normal hairline. Combed over, whatever. Anyway, when you do that, boom, 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 boom. I'm not concerned about this because that's still amazing that this shape just hits his hairline. It's a unique, your hairline's unique, you know? And then where the chin hits is really, really good. So that's my artistic analysis. I think the only thing that's really significantly changed was 2018 is when I started doing this. And I really didn't been doing much facial analysis in 2019 for a reason. But the hairline was something that just people kept talking about. And that's when I was like, okay, I'll analyze it other ways and just show you what I see, what I think This is not may not be a hairline, just might be hair that was just grew longer because Levi Hancock, said Joseph Smith, showed him where he was permanently bald, like the mobs had drug him by his hair and just ripped it out. And he talks in his journal like, I'm losing my hair, also getting sick and finding clumps of hair. But scholars think that it was permanently ripped out, so he pushed his hair on the side. Like, it's kind of strange. I mean, because it happens, but it's so asymmetrical too on one side of the head. It's like, how did that happen? Anyway, so this is the facial analysis, and it's just an artistic analysis, and I know I don't bear a whole lot of weight as just an artist, but you can find out about me and see I studied art at BYU, Idaho. I also became an esthetician before I became a medical assistant, and we had to learn. And I worked with plastic surgeons. We had to learn. So my terminology is more like, even though I don't have any plastic surgery done on me, but to know the common things. So hooded eyelids, things like that. What are these asymmetrical things people would want changed so that a plastic surgeon, because a symmetrical face is apparently a more beautiful face, and blah, blah, blah. Although we did learn in school, eyebrows are not twins, they're sisters, and they are generally so unique. Just eyebrows, you guys. Eyebrows, I'm an eyebrow specialist. Grew up with larger, my eyebrows don't look that thick, but very insecure about my eyebrows, so I just become an eyebrow artist. I'm an eyebrow artist. That's what they call you, And I draw faces, so art, medical assistant, esthetician, but all this if I spat out any medical terminology, I'm not a doctor, but I had to take A&P several levels. Actually, I didn't need to take as many as I needed. I took more than I needed to become a medical assistant, and also becoming an esthetician. We go through all the veins even, and just everything from the décolleté up. So it's all focused on the face for the most part. Anyway, longer video. Facial analysis, artistic facial analysis. Anyway, have a good day. We're going to keep doing these shorter videos and going through my whole website.